Okay, a nice short case study, this one. This is from paper two for economic development, and this is the idea of tourism in Tanzania and how that can be used to reduce the development gap and therefore to increase the quality of life. And it's all about local multiplier effects, essentially. The AQA says how the growth of tourism in an LIC helps to reduce the development gap. So advantages and disadvantages. Remember, it says helps, so you might get an analysis question about whether it does or it doesn't. First of all, of course, people who come as tourists are usually coming from outside of the country and they're bringing money in. And that money can be invested in the country, can be invested in by the government in local education to help people be able to access work and employment, and also, of course, in health and other services to bring down, for example, infant mortality, deaths of children in the first year, child mortality, deaths of children in the first 5 years. And this can therefore have a long-term impact in reducing demographic pressure to give you an overall long-term improvement in development. And that's, after all, what the case study is for. Remember, you're looking at a local multiplier effect. All those people employed as, say, waiters are going to spend their money in local shops, and those people in local shops are going to buy their produce from local farmers. So we get a good local multiplier effect. Wherever you can talk about the multiplier effect, do. So jobs for local people, which means they can learn new skills, which means that they might be able to generate new tourist services. So you may also get a whole new set of skills and services growing up, which of course could be connected to the internet. It's very cheap to market on there. And of course, if it's a very different kind of wilderness area, then people will pay a lot more to go there than existing places. So Tanzania might, for example, be able to replace Kenya, where Kenya, for example, did replace South Africa, and on we go. Obviously, the construction phase of secondary facilities for tourism, like ports, hotels, airports, and things, that himself is direct employment, which means you develop the local skills, which means that people can live locally in the Tanzania area. They will reduce population growth to the cities, which means you also get a benefit that the cities may have a reduction in their growth rate. Clearly, if tourists need infrastructure, local people get infrastructure, sanitation, water supply, etc. Goes without saying, and a regular electricity supply, really important for developing industry. Um, Visitors get a sight and value local customs and traditions. There's a drive of globalization, of westernization, that everything Western is good and everything local is bad. But in fact, growing numbers of people who go to places on tourist holidays value the culture they're visiting, and that means that it starts to be sustained because it can be kept as a way of life, not not in the old-fashioned way, but in fact as a way of being able to exchange people seeing it for their money. And finally, tourists can be educated on the fragility of ecosystems, so you don't necessarily get the economic benefit versus environmental impact. Disadvantages, of course, some of the profits leak out because very often Western companies come and put their hotels in, they employ their managers, so you get profit leakage. Leakage is a really good term to use. Likewise, as I just mentioned, foreign workers as well. So you end up with the local people just doing low skilled, low paid jobs, whereas all the good, heavy, strong jobs go to people who may be being paid overseas, therefore taxed overseas, but working in that country. Quite a complex point, but if you can remember it, really good. It might lead to a lot of people wanting to move there for employment. So you may see local house prices rising. So local people may be displaced from the ability to buy homes. And then the others, infrastructure developments are focused on the tourists. So that will contrast a little bit with what I said before. And there might be a sense, as I said, of this museumification. Fantastic word, museumification. I'm going to Tanzania, I want to see ethnicity. And that might actually in itself stunt the development and the moving forward of the local people who are being told basically, stay as you are, we like watching you do pretty things, tapping on the head, lovely, lovely, lovely. And finally, of course, you get wildlife disruption. You may have really well educated tourists, but the numbers of tourists will have a big footprint. Finally, there's your details. Should have put this in before. Primary resources, safaring and the northern safari circuits. There's Tank there. Kilimanjaro, very high mountain. You'll see celebrities climbing up Kilimanjaro, the only mountain in equatorial regions of the world with snow on it. 47% of climbing trip go to the national park. So it's really focused. So we've got honeypots. Beaches, including the birthplace of Freddie Mercury. You won't remember who Freddie Mercury was. Zanzibar. And then, of course, culture. People go to visit the cultural areas around Kilimanjaro. The point is, a lot of these are very point specific honeypots that might draw people to those areas. There you go. Tanzania, tourism as a potential way of developing a country. I thank you.